Before beginning the video, we would like to thank Villa Gorilla and Team 17 for sending us a review copy of the game. Have you ever wanted to play a Metroidvania-like side-scroller that controls like a game of pinball? Well, you're in luck because Yoku's Island Express is all that and more, beautifully presented in a way that will make you smile the moment you pick it up. But will you be smiling the entire way through? This is what they should do, presenting my guest review for Source Gaming. And let's delve right into this incredible experience of a game. The story of Yoku's Island Express is a relatively simple one. You play as Yoku the dung beetle, and he's been appointed as the new postmaster for the island of Mokumana. However, you'll soon learn that something mysterious has recently been happening. The island is in trouble, and Yoku soon finds out that he'll need to help the island dwellers in more ways than just delivering their mail. The gameplay of Yoku's Island Express is primarily focused around one main mechanic: pinball. As a dung beetle, Yoku is happily rolling around a ball throughout his journey. Try not to focus on what that ball is likely made of. You control Yoku by moving left or right, and occasionally pressing A to interact with characters and objects. But the real fun is whenever you come across a flipper or bumper. It's at this point where you can control these bumpers to interact with Yoku's ball, and have it bounce and fly around the screen, dragging Yoku along in the process. And it feels as if it was taken right out of a classic pinball cabinet. Simply press the shoulder button to control the flippers, orange for the right trigger, blue for the left. The flippers control really well, feeling fast and responsive. Some flippers can send Yoku careening at top speeds, and some smaller bumpers are used to reach higher ledges. These small ones are used in place of a conventional jump button. Yoku himself can only move left or right. You will immediately understand the mechanics and gameplay style after just the first few minutes of playing. It's at this point that you'll likely make up your mind about whether you're a fan of the pinball-style gameplay, and you find it unique and compelling, or maybe it's not quite your cup of tea and you find the pinball segments frustrating. And that's the word I hear many people throw around regarding Yoku's Island Express. It's not a bad game by any means, but at times it can definitely feel frustrating. You see, because Yoku's Island Express is designed to be played like a Metroidvania, that means a lot of backtracking throughout the world map. Backtracking in and of itself is fine, and in fact, it can be exciting to revisit older locations and discover new paths you can take once you unlock the new ability or item that you've picked up in your adventure. However, getting to the old locale can feel dragged out by having to replay certain pinball segments. This is really not too big of an issue because the game makes it relatively obvious for you where you need to go to continue the main plot. And thanks to the beautifully drawn world map, you shouldn't really feel lost at any point, especially once you get past a certain part of the story and unlock the game's fast travel mechanic, the beeline. This is when the game really starts picking up. The beeline makes revisiting older locales a breeze, and the dotted path it displays on the map makes navigating the island 100% easier. Although you unlock the beeline early on, part of me wishes that it was unlocked even earlier. There's one particular segment that's a vertical climb to Mokumana village. The initial journey can be exhilarating, but at the same time it feels like a pinball version of getting over it. You see, the pinball mechanic is very easy to grasp. It's extremely easy to understand what you need to do in order to beat certain levels, and you'll usually know how to do it, i.e. what flipper to press and when. The real challenge is in the execution. For me personally, I loved pinball as a kid. Well, I always enjoyed it, but I was never especially good at it. I was no pinball wizard by any account. So for me, the gameplay of Yoku's Island Express was most of the time engrossing and fun, but at the same time frustrating. I feel like with pinball, most players either feel like they're in the groove and nothing can stop you, or it's just not your day and maybe try again tomorrow. Either it's a walk in the park or it's incredibly frustrating. But here's the reason why Yoku's Island Express can make this pinball playstyle dichotomy work. It's just so darn charming. Even during those times when your pinball game is just off, Yoku's Island Express will definitely feel annoying but never rage-inducing. Let's go through the motions. You keep missing your shot and you've been stuck on the same pinball segment for the past 10 minutes. You feel your anger creeping up and about to explode, but then you take a breath and look at what's happening on screen. You're controlling a cute little dung beetle who's either happily rolling his ball or being yanked around by the momentum of said ball. No matter what dangerous events may be happening, no matter how many times he's been slammed against the walls, bumpers, and loop-de-loops, Yoku just keeps smiling. The world and atmosphere of Yoku's Island Express in and of itself is what brings you back to the feeling of simple, lighthearted fun. even if you've been stuck on the same pinball segment forever. At the end of the day, pinball is just a game of patience, and Yoku's Island Express never has any feeling of pressure. There's no time limit, and every segment is rewarding you with fruit, even when replaying tables that you may have stumbled into accidentally. The game also doesn't have any real scope of difficulty, because you can never truly die. If you land in the gutter, you just lose some of your fruit, no real punishment, just a minor setback. Going back to the fruit that I was mentioning, it's this game's currency. You'll need to spend it often to unlock new bumpers and panels while exploring the map. These are to get new locations and thus continue with the story. But don't worry, you'll come across fruit fairly often, and I never really felt the need to grind any old segments in order to collect more fruit. One tip though, get those wallet expansions whenever you can. You'll be amazed at how quickly you'll reach the max amount of fruit that Yoku can hold. As you can tell, Yoku's Island Express is gorgeous. The beautiful art style is bursting with color at every step of your journey. That art, mixed with the good feel nature of the game as a whole, makes for something really special. Every character you come across on the island seems unique, both in the way they look and sound, but also in their own motives and tasks that they ask Yoku's help with. Although most of the characters don't serve a bigger purpose than directing you to the next location, they are all charming and likable. These island dwellers really make the world feel alive. Which leads me to the music, by far one of the best aspects of Yoku's Island Express. Just listen to those tunes. The music in this game feels soothing yet catchy, with a very Polynesian island style. It only helps engross you more and more into the world that the developers created. On top of that, all of the added sound effects during the pinball segments really make you feel like you're playing on a classic cabinet. Plus, I will never tire of hearing Yoku squeals of excitement whenever he gets launched far distances. Yoku's Island Express is not necessarily a game that everyone will enjoy the entire way through, but it's definitely a game that everybody should try. It is such a unique and creative concept of mixing the exploration of a Metroidvania with the movement and playstyle of pinball, and that concept alone should be enough to grab your attention. And hopefully, the charming visuals, music, and overall atmosphere will keep you in for the long haul. Yes, at times going through certain segments can feel frustrating, especially when returning to previous explored sections. As a matter of fact, most people say this game is about a 6-hour adventure. However, it took me personally much longer because I wanted to return and explore every nook and cranny for any secrets that I might have missed. Let that be a testament to how engaging the game is as a Metroidvania. But I guess I'm just not too good at pinball because I did find myself stuck in a few sections for far longer than I would have liked. Regardless of that, I don't blame the developers for this. And although I found some parts frustrating, I still loved almost every moment of Yoku's Island Express. And I highly recommend that you try it out for yourself. Yoku's Island Express earns a solid 4 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the review, please show your support by clicking the like button and subscribing to Source Gaming. And if you enjoy hearing my voice and opinions, please check out my own personal channel, What They Should Do. We would like to give a huge thank you to all of our amazing supporters on Patreon. You guys really are the best. And please always remember to return to the source. Until next time.